We do have a paranormal expert here.
Shut up.
Who made her way onto a little-known Netflix show called The Circle. Miss
I
Rachel
know.
Evans
That's
herself.
genuinely the funniest thing in the world is that they're like, your very real job is being a paranormal researcher, right? And I'm like, yeah. Also, no.
Also full-time works at Smosh.
Also have like a very, very
media.
full-time job, like, and like benefits, you know.
Yeah.
I don't just hunt ghosts, but I'm not gonna go onto The Circle and be like, hi, I'm a social media expert.
Right.
Because everyone else was a social media expert.
I know.
I texted you on the first day and I was like, everyone works in social. And they're all playing a social game.
The thing is,
Seems unfair.
I think that that's kind of the gimmick now, where it's like they're leaning into the fact that it is a social media influencing game or whatever. No, I definitely wanted to go in there and be like, I'm kooky. I never lie to anybody. I'm just a little ghost lady.
Mhm.
To be fair, that's also who I am as a person.
Yeah, I started binging your season last night.
Oh my
and
God.
I stopped in the middle of episode 6, so I don't know the drama that happened.
You didn't see the roast?
Yeah, I didn't see the rest yet. But I will
Wow.
say, you're so authentically yourself on that show, and I'm watching it and like, oh, this is just Rachel.
I know.
It's her in a meeting.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
On set. Like,
That's what's so funny about it is everyone's like yelling, and I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, man. Um,
It's nice to know that you don't put on any,
I can't.
fake- Yeah, I'm the same way. I truly can't.
I can't do it if I tried. Like, that's people. We have a lot of health check-ins with The Circle. We have check-ins like every time a batch drops, we have a therapist who calls us
Oh,
that's great.
to be like, "Are you okay?"
it's Julia Fox. Hey.
Yeah.
It sounds bad. Yeah.
Oh no. No, we have a therapist who called to check in on us, and she called me yesterday and she's like, how are you feeling about this new batch dropping? Like, how do you think that you were represented? And I was like, fine. Like, I feel nothing. I feel totally fine.
I think it's because you were yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
can't really
was
edit.
nervous, to be fair. I was nervous about that roast coming out because I thought that I was much meaner than I actually was because everybody else was so freaking kind. Like, everybody else's roasts were like, Rachel, ghosts are funny. Frank, yay! Like, it was, nobody was actually roasting anybody. And then I went up there and I was like, you look like Donald Trump and you're a catfish. I don't like you.
Isn't it an interesting position to be the hard roaster when no one else is going that hard?
Well, I was convinced that I thought I did a shitty job. Oh, that's so you.
That's
I get
so me.
That's so you classic Tommy roast.
Yeah.
Only my jokes were not cohesive. I told soliloquies. Like, that was the feedback that they actually cut from the show, little exclusive content.
Wow.
The feedback I got from Nikki Glazer, Nikki, my friend Nikki, she was like, oh, Rachel, these jokes are great. Just like get to it.
Right.
Or she's like, good job roasting. Just, make a joke. Like, I was just saying sentences.
Right.
And nobody liked that. People were really not happy about it. But it's okay. It worked out well for me.
I'm sure it did. There's no hate on Twitter.
No, there isn't. Isn't actually.
So since you were the Spice Girls' biggest fans, that's how you're portrayed when you came in, and people thought
Are you-
you were the Spice Girls. Have you actually met them yet?
No. Okay.
Okay, Rachel just flipped the table.
I'm
Rachel!
I'm so mad right now.
Oh my god.
So mad right now. That was, I shit you not, one of the worst nights of my life. Like, I'm not kidding. They cut the cameras before. I'm so sorry, by the way. Spoilers. Spoilers will happen. If you care about spoilers for this current season of The Circle, I will not spoil anything that hasn't already been shown on TV, but I will be talking about episodes 1 through 8. Oh, that's so many
episodes out.
That is so many episodes.
Got something to binge tonight.
I know. But yeah, I was so tragically upset that they didn't come to see me that we had a therapist who was living inside of the building. Like, I had to stop. Like, she had to come get me. Because I was so weeping. I was weeping so heavily. That one of the executive producers walked into my room and was like, do you want to leave the room? Because when you're in the room,
Right.
you're being watched by cameras
Right.
and your mic is on.
Right.
And so she was like, would you like to talk about this outside of the room? And I was like, no, let him here.
You're like, roll the cameras.
I literally just got unhinged. And I was like, this is fucked up. Why did you bring me here? What am I doing here?
Wow.
And they're like, you think you're here because you're a fan of the Spice Girls? And I was like, yes, I do. And they're like,
That's why I was casted.
I know. They're like, Rachel, you're here to compete in the show. Like, it's not about the Spice Girls. And I was like, it is.
It's not.
Yeah.
You made it now.
You made it about it.
So we have a question in the chat kind of going off of that. How much of the circle is scripted?
None.
If
100% none.
I love that question for a reality show.
Yeah.
How much is scripted?
I know. And I think it is astute to assume that, but 100% of it is real. People think that it's scripted because sometimes you have to repeat something you said, but they never ask you to repeat anything outside of a chat. So like if you're dictating to the circle,
Right.
and like the thing comes out, when you initially are dictating that message, it comes out really choppy, like, hi, like you're trying to think of what you need to say. So then you have to read it cohesively one time and then read it again and then do circle message,
Right.
So some people are not great at repeating something naturally.
Right.
So people think that it's scripted, but it is not scripted at all. We do have producers, like each person has their own individual producer who could be like, are you sure that's what you want to do? But
second guess you on
all
everything.
it takes is going, yeah. Like that happens to me constantly because they're trying to obviously they're trying to make a show. So there's certain things where they're trying to stir the pot or they're like, do you want to bring up this thing? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Like, that's my friend. Like every time with Yuling, they're like, are you sure you trust her? I'm like, yes.
I do.
Fuck off. Yeah. But if you're not used to that, like I'm lucky because I come from this world. So like I knew that I could say yes, yeah, or no. But there are people like Parker, or like people who've never been on TV before, most people in the world, who don't know that you can say no.
Right.
So like you might have seen it in like the first or second episode, but Parker yelling at herself in the mirror, pretending to be a man.
Oh yeah.
She's like, you're a man. In here, you're a man. Like I watched that with her, and she was like, this is the worst day of my life.
Was that
like,
something they prompted her to do?
Yeah. And she didn't think they were going to use it because they all agreed that it looked really bad.
Well, when something looks really bad, they're going to use it. That's reality TV. Baby.
We also have another fun question. So if you had to do the circle over again and you had to be a catfish,
No.
What profile would you try to go under?
Well, first of all, no.
Never again.
Hard pass. But I think I would be... Whoo, doggy. I had to be a catfish. I've literally never considered it.
I know, because when we were talking about you leaving, and I wanted you to go in as a catfish, and you were like, I literally can't imagine
I just can't
doing any of that.
I just can't perceive information in a different way. Tommy, if you were going to be a catfish, who would you be?
I was just thinking about if I was going to do that, like the first thought of mine was my mom. I feel like I can do a good impression of my mom, but I feel like people would be like, why is a 66-year-old woman on the circle? I know that there's been like been a few older people.
This season, there's two people playing. There's Parker playing her dad, Paul, and John playing his mom, Carol.
Right. So I feel like I would land in the same boat. It's like
definitely do, but yeah. But I don't know. I would want to be like, God.
Maybe Grey Goobler. What's his first name?
Matthew Gray Goobler.
Yeah. I just picked a random name in my brain. I could do it.
I literally fell in love with you. Like, just at the thought of you maybe being Matthew Gray Goobler, I was like, I love you. God, I love him. I'm really excited to see an upcoming conversation. I don't know if they're going to show it, but they really tried to, like, get me to be gay on this show.
Oh.
Like, they really were like, but women, right? And I was like, are gorgeous.
Like, they're beautiful.
There's a whole conversation where everyone's talking about who they're flirting with, like, in the circle. And I was like, you guys are flirting with each other? Like, what the fuck? And they're like, what kind of person are you into? And the producers were like, this is a perfect opportunity to be a little bit gay, Rachel. But I just said anyone who can build a computer, which I think is a little bit gay.
It's a little gay.
I try really hard to keep my cries very stoic. Like if I cry in public or at a
it's a
movie
silent
theater,
cry, right?
it's a silent cry, and I just stare forward and just
The
let the
tears roll.
tears roll down.
Yep.
That's
very cinematic.
That's the way I cried when the Spice Girls didn't come to visit me. I said, because I was hoping it was like a predator, like if I'm still enough, the cameras won't see it. So I was just sitting on the couch quietly crying, and then I hear it goes on for like too long, and then I hear my producer go, Are you crying? And
No.
I took a pillow. I cannot believe they didn't use this. It was such good TV, and it makes me think that they're actually good people. But I took a pillow and I put it up to my face, and then I just fell to the side and and held it and wept into the pillow until somebody came to get me and was like, "Do you need some air?" And I was like, "Yeah, I haven't been outside in 3 days, so maybe I should." Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What are people saying?
Yeah.
How does it work out in the circle? Because like I see like sometimes people go to the workout room, sometimes people go up to like a hot tub area. Do you get like an hour a day to go like see the sun?
No, an hour?
Oh, that's
What do you think I am? A lucky prisoner? No, actually, you in the morning, so they knew that I would go insane if I didn't go outside for at least a little bit. So before I even woke up in the morning, they would put my name on the list. And there's a list, there's a list for air. And then you put your name on it. And basically what my Voice of God, my producer, what she did every single day was every time my name was on the list, or she put my name on the list before I woke up. And then once I was able to get outside, she would put my name back on the list. So that at any opportunity I could, I was going outside. Like that was my constant state of being. I was like, any chance you can, please bring me outside because I will die in here. Yeah. That being said, I usually only got to stand on a balcony for about 5 to 10 minutes a day.
Wow.
And that is the whole outside time. And I'm lucky. Like there are people who didn't go outside for like a day because they didn't put their name on the list in time, or like by the time they put their name on the list, or too many names on the list, because we couldn't be outside at the same time.
Because you can't see each other.
We can't see each other and we can't hear each other because we're like isolated, you know? So there are 2 people on each floor on the opposite sides of the floor. And each person has an adjacent apartment that is exclusively for them. But it was a good experience in like that I realized how much autonomy means to me. And how much I need to be able to make my own decisions. And also how little I care about fame. That was like kind of the most interesting takeaway.
learning experience.
Yeah, that I was like, oh, I don't care. That's why like all these check-ins and stuff, they're like, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Like, how are you feeling about all of this attention? And I'm like, I don't register it. And I actually don't care. And they're like, all these new followers. I'm like, I'm not going to give you anything. That's the problem. I'm not going to deliver on this value proposition.
Right.
So I don't want you to invest in this company because I can't give you the content you want.
They're gonna find some Smosh content.
Exactly.
We're
If you
recruiting some more
want
Smosh
to support me, go follow Smosh.
Great from a social media.
Yeah.
Great plug.
Yeah, you could. I literally said that. I did an interview with what's that magazine? Us Weekly. I did an interview with Us Weekly, and they were like, "What are you working on next?" And I was like, "I just work at Smosh. Like, I just work. What do you mean? What am I working on next?
Like my job.
Yeah.
I work on my job.
I guess I have a meeting at 2. Like, I don't know."
Did you cook at all in your time in the circle? Because
Constantly.
I noticed that a lot when like players are like having conversations. They're always baking or cooking, which to me is really fun.
Yeah.
I love to cook, and I'm like,
No, it was
that's
actually really, really nice because they also like anything you want, they get for you. So for groceries, like if I needed, I just pushed it. So I was like, let's see what kind of exotic groceries I can get. I got a bunch of, I got a bunch of ingredients. I got to cook every single day, but also if I like didn't feel like cooking, and if I was just sitting in bed and I was like, I kind of want grapes. 5 minutes later, there'd be a knock at my door and like grapes would be there.
That's so nice.
It was great. And there was one day where I like yawned and they brought me 4 Red Bull.
Wow.
I know. I was,
you need to be awake.
Yeah.
You need to be.
And they were right. They were right. But yeah, it was we were treated very well. I mean, besides the whole like
No sunshine.
Truman Show aspect of it all, yeah, you're treated very well.
It's a balance.
It's a balance. We've got to hurt you, but then we got to feed you.
Have you met any of the other cast from any of the other
have.
circles?
Oh yeah, it's a very. It just like once you're in it, woo, you're in it. Like
Like family now.
everybody is in there. It's crazy. Like Delisa from season 2 is
Mhm.
fantastic.
Aw.
She's like my favorite person. Mitch and Ed, the brothers. Ed was the one who
Yes.
went with. So I met Ed and Tammy,
Oh,
and they are amazing.
yay.
Like they're such good people. They're actually all really, really good people and very supportive.
People really want to know if they've let you vape in the.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna
Let me
say.
vape.
That's been like a question that's been asked this for this whole hour.
No, well, I mean, if you're talking about weed is not legal in the UK, so that was very much a no. But also generally no.
Oh, they say thank you.
Yeah.
They've been asking that the entire hour.
Really? About the
Pressing.
vaping.
It's pressing.
I mean, I get it, but no. Why would you? I mean, that's not true. If there were ever a time that I was gonna pick up like smoking cigarettes, oh, it would have been so nice.
Yeah.
Just looking back on it,
It's
it
a
would
good
have been
hit.
so
You'd have to go.
nice. That
They have to let you.
and also like you are so tense. Like the only thing in the world that exists to you is the circle. Like the things that happen in one episode, that's one day of your life. And it's the only thing that happened to you that day.
Right.
And it's the
Obsessed.
obsessed.